when we are out there in the dark. We'll dream about the sun. In the dark we'll seek the light, warms our hearts, everyone. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever. As high as souls will fly, the clouds roll by for you and I. Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of Movie Talk. Now, this week's movie is based on one of my favorite books, or actually is adapted from one of my favorite books. Actually, it is a series of movies adapted from one of my favorite book series. And that movie is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Harry thought he was just a normal boy until the day he received a letter in the mail inviting him to attend classes at Hogwarts School for Witchcraft and Wizardry. And his secret past has been revealed. However, there are mysteries at Hogwarts, and Harry and his two best friends, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, are determined to figure out exactly what's going on, and of course, pass all their classes. Okay, highlights of the movie. This movie was made back in 2001 and is a fantasy film. It is the first installment of the Harry Potter series, which consisted of 8 movies total, 2 through 8 being in order of release: The Chamber of Secrets, The Prisoner of Azkaban, The Goblet of Fire, The Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, The Deathly Hallows Part 1, and The Deathly Hallows Part 2. And if I mispronounced the name of the prison in the third movie, I apologize. It is also the first installment of the Wizarding World series, which includes it and the other 7 movies in the Harry Potter series, as well as Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and The Crimes of Grindelwald. Please note that that movies 9 and 10 are also part of the Fantastic Beasts series. This movie is based on the book written by J.K. Rowling and came out exactly 1 year after the release of the 4th book, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Okay, things I liked about this movie. First off, I loved the story. I'm a big fan of fantasy stories and fantasy movies, and this one is both. The book came out first, obviously, as the movie was released after the 4th book, and I had read, I think, the first 2 or 3 books before this movie came out, or I think I just finished reading the 2nd book and was maybe halfway through the 3rd one when this movie came out. I don't remember. It's been a while. But I know I was fairly into the series when the movie started coming out. So I really did, I really did like the storyline. When I heard that this movie was being made, I was really excited. And I was also hoping that the movie did the book justice, which it does. Secondly, I loved the effects in this movie. This movie had a ton of special effects. I think it had as many, if not more, special effects than the Star Wars movies did. it was just, it's like everywhere you turn, particularly when they get into the wizarding world, into Hogwarts and Diagon Alley, there's just effects everywhere. And it's just amazing. I think a good chunk of the movie was done on green screen. I'm not 100% sure, but I would venture, I guess, that that's what happened. It's just effects everywhere. The magic that they perform when they're flying on the broomsticks, when they're in the forest, when they're below the school, attempting to find the Sorcerer's Stone, everywhere in the castle. It's just effect after effect after effect. It's just everywhere. It's just amazing. Take my word for it. Set wise, wonderful job on really bringing Hogwarts and the Forbidden Forest and Diagon Alley to life for me. We will get into other magical places in the other books or other movies, and I will talk about those as they become more relevant. Also, the effects with the characters, particularly the ghosts, were really cool. I mean, they looked like ghosts, in my opinion. There are some movies that have ghosts in them that are supposed to be obviously ghosts, and it doesn't look as good. These guys looked good. Particularly the ghost of Gryffindor Tower, nearly headless Nick. He actually, there is a scene where where you see his head detached from his body, or semi-detached from his body, and it looks real. I mean, it's so well done. Fluffy, the Cerberus, looked real to me. Firenze the Centaur looked cool. I mean, I was expecting for him to be like one of the centaurs from Hercules, the Legendary Journeys, or Xena Warrior Princess, and he didn't. He looked completely different, and I actually liked that design way better. I mean, he was bigger than I imagined when I read the book, but I still liked it, and I will do a comparison video on the book and the movie at some point in time. Let me do a book talk video on the book first. Thirdly, I loved the characters. My favorite characters were Harry, of course, his two best friends, Ron and Hermione, Professor Dumbledore, and Professor McGonagall, and Hagrid. I liked Hagrid. Actor-wise, the actor who played him wasn't exactly the way I pictured Hagrid in my head when I read the book, but still very good. I liked how he was portrayed in the movie. Just visual-wise, it just wasn't how I pictured him. But still, it's very, very hard when you're going from a book to a movie to find actors, particularly if it's a live-action movie like this was, to find actors that look exactly like how the author described the characters. So I felt they did a very good job with finding someone who looked at least remotely like how J.K. Rowling described Hagrid. Fourthly, this movie, as I stated earlier, is based on one of my favorite books, so it gets a lot of bonus points for that. When I first heard this movie was being made, I was both excited and nervous. Excited because I loved the books so much that I was very, very excited to see it come to life, or one of them to come to life on the big screen. And nervous because sometimes movies that are made from books don't turn out quite the way the book does. But they actually followed the storyline from the book fairly well. They made a few changes, and I will get into that in the comparison video, I promise. But all in all, it followed the plot line of the book very well. There weren't a lot of dramatic changes, just enough to keep it from being a 6 to 8 hour movie. Finally, and I did state this in the effect part, but I loved the castle, Hogwarts Castle. And I loved the the forest. I think it's either called the Dark Forest or the Forbidden Forest. I forget which one. Both were amazing. The Dark Forest looked extremely creepy, like something out of a horror thriller movie. But extremely cool. And Hogwarts was just amazing. Amazing. I can't think of any other way to describe it than as amazing. The moving stairs, the moving pictures, the moving suit of armors, the ghosts everywhere. We didn't see Peeves in this movie, who's the poltergeist. He's mentioned in the books, but he doesn't make an appearance in the movie, or at least this movie. I haven't seen all the movies. I've only seen up to Order of the Phoenix. I do have all 8 of the Harry Potter movies, but I have not seen the Half-Blood Prince or either of the Deathly Hallows yet, and I do not have have not seen either of the Fantastic Beasts movies. Hope to get those at some point, and then I will watch all of them. But as of the posting of this video, I have not. But again, I love the settings, like particularly the settings for the castle and the forest, even though we don't spend a lot of time in the forest, was really cool. We spend most of our time in the castle. And Diagon Alley, oh my god, Diagon Alley looked so cool, in my opinion. We're not there all that much, and I would have loved if in the movie they spent a little more time in Diagon Alley so we could have explored some more of the shops that are there. Really the only 2 places, 3 if you want to count the Leaky Cauldron, that we go into in Diagon Alley is the bank, and then, or Grindal's, and if I mispronounced that, I'm sorry, and then Ollivander's wand shop. We don't go into the robe shop, which was a shame. I would have loved to have seen the robe shop. We don't go into Flourish and Bolts, I believe it's called, which is the bookstore, which again is a shame. I would have, being a reader, I would have loved to have seen how they do that, but we will go into it. We will see that in a future movie, so we will see that. We don't go into the apothecary store, which is where you buy all your stuff for your potions, which is a shame. I would have loved to have seen that. We don't go into the broom store. We pass by it and we see from the outside of it, which is okay. But we don't go into it. But they don't go into it in the book either, so I wasn't expecting that. We don't go into the Cauldron store or any of the other stores that they that are there. That they went into in the book. We don't go into them. I would have loved to have gone into them, seen them, even if just for like 5 seconds. The whole shopping thing extended to where, you know, there's like 5 seconds they're in this store and then they cut to when they're in this one. I would have liked that, explore Diagon Alley a little more, but we don't. Hopefully in future movies, like I said, I haven't seen the Half-Blood Prince yet, and I haven't seen either part of the Deathly Hallows, so hopefully in those, well, I'm pretty sure Deathly Hallows, we don't really go to Diagon Alley, but hopefully in the Half-Blood Prince, we'll see some of the other stores. I do know we go to the bookstore in at least one of the other movies. I'm not saying which one. We will get to that when we come to that movie. But again, that was my one little nitpick about the movie, is that we do not spend enough time in Diagon Alley. I would have loved to have explored it more. But that's my little rant for this movie. That's just my little rant on here. It's like, I just would have loved to have spent more time in Diagon Alley. Okay, I know you're probably tired of hearing me say that, so I'm going to move on. Okay, cast. This movie had a great cast of actors, and J.K. Rowlands, or however you say her name, if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize, actually insisted that the entire cast be English or Irish. So you have like all these, you have like everybody is an English or Irish actor or actress. Now, I did look for the actor who played Harry's cousin Dudley and the actors who played Ron's brothers. but I could not find them. I could not find them at all, mainly because, well, his Ron's brothers mostly were not big characters. We don't see them that much. We see them like at the welcome banquet and when they're going on to platform 9 3/4. But after that, we really don't see them. And they're not even really, they're mentioned in the book, but they're not in the book, but they're not big players in the books. And I will take that back. We do see the twins during the Quidditch match. And that's another thing I wish they had expanded on. We really only see the one Quidditch match between Gryffindor and Slytherin. I would have liked to have seen, I think they mentioned like one other match in the book. I would have liked to have seen that one, even if it was just the ending of that one. Just so you don't think like the whole movie is just this rivalry between Slytherin and Gryffindor, which it kind of is, but not really. There are like two other houses. There's Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff as well. And I would have liked if they focused a little bit on those two houses as well. But a lot of the main characters are either in Gryffindor or Slytherin, so they were focusing on those. I think they will focus on the other houses in other books as well. Or not books, in the other movies as well. But at this point, it was just really Slytherin and Gryffindor. But we do see Fred and George Weasley, the Weasley twins, in that scene because they are on the Quidditch team as well. And again, Quidditch, I love the Quidditch thing, but this is not things I like. This is character-wise. But again, character-wise, great cast of actors. I've never seen any of them, with the exception of the actress who plays Professor McGonagall, in anything other than the Harry Potter movies. Maggie Smith, who plays Professor McGonagall, was actually in the first Legally Blonde movie. She played one of the teachers. But everyone else I haven't seen anything but this. And again, I do apologize for not having Dudley or Percy and Fred and George Weasley listed. Or Dudley Dursley or Fred, George, and Percy Weasley listed. I just could not find their actors. But there's the list. This will be relatively constant with the other Harry Potter movies. One change, well, two changes will come later on. Well, one will come in the next movie, and then one will come in either 3 or 4. I can't remember. Okay, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Please like and share if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Tumblr, Wattpad, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. And the links for the 5 sites I mentioned will be in the description section, if that makes it any easier for you guys to find my pages on those sites. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link for my Facebook page will be in the description section. And if you're watching on Facebook, the link for my YouTube channel will be in the description section. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Feel free to check out my other movie talk videos. my Movie Talk Special Edition videos. And my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a few things I'd like to touch on. First off, and this is for my YouTube subscribers, any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. The link will be in the description section. And this is for my Facebook friends. Any of my videos that are not on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. Again, the link will be in the description section. And if you're looking for TV Talk, here's a list of all the shows I've either done a TV Talk video on or I'm currently doing TV Talk videos on. As always, thank you for watching and have a very nice day.